I'm Marriage Coach Lynn. Welcome to Let's Get Personal. This is a place where you send in a question and I will share my response. I have a great question for today that can generate a lot of conversation, so please leave your comments below and feel free to ask a question so I can make another video. So today's question is, what's wrong with living together? Nothing. Nothing's wrong with it. But I have questions for you. What is it that you hope to gain from living together? Why are you living together? What are your goals? What are your values? What are your expectations? Do you know your partner's expectations? And are they exactly equal today? They might not be exactly equal 3, 6, 9 months from now. So living together is sort of a go with the flow type of situation. Even if both of you 100% agree today the status of the relationship, it's still a go with the flow type of arrangement because at any one time, the door is wide open for somebody to leave, for a breakup. Marriage is different because the door is not wide open, it's open. It's open for somebody to leave. You'd have to go through legal proceedings to dissolve the legal marriage. So there is a difference. In our culture, there are some people who say, oh, it's just a piece of paper. It doesn't matter. It's no different. We love each other, so why should we get married? Well, if you've looked at National Marriage Week, USA.org, if you've looked at many of these websites and organizations that keep statistics, you will see the benefits of marriage, and they are many. And I won't go into them now. But what I do want to cite are a few statistics. Those who live together, 70% will break up. So just remember that. 20% will continue living together on and on for many years. 10% will get married. Okay, now married couples who live together at one point or another, they have a 33% increased chance of divorce. There are many factors that can contribute toward divorce, and previous living arrangement is one of them. Now, you'll say, of course, we know many people who've lived together and got married and they have great marriages. Yes, but the statistics across the board is 33% increase likely of divorce. Now, when you're living together, it will force you to think about or define in your own mind what marriage is and why you're not getting married. Why don't you want to marry this person? Do you love this person? Is it just easier? Are you waiting to spend a lot of money on a wedding? Are you trying to clear through financial problems from your past? Is it a trial run for a marriage? And I have to tell you, I'm very happy that I've seen some recent articles that living together, it's part opinion, part research. I don't think the research is there yet, but the opinion is that oftentimes people will live together and it's the guy who doesn't want to make the commitment. He doesn't want to get married, and most of the time, after years, the woman will want to get married. And so what happens, he doesn't want to commit, and he doesn't commit, and what often happens, she settles. She settles for the relationship. She settles for continuing to live together. And I just think that's just could be one more patriarchal aspect of our culture when you really think about it. So I want to ask women to think very clearly before you get involved in a living arrangement. The two of you need to know these statistics and the general trends here. So when you ask me what would I do, how would I raise my kids, and what would I tell them? Well, I have suggested to my kids, and many of you know I have 5 children over age 21, plus a 15-year-old, and again, like I said, living together comes from your goals and your values, and the values that I share with my children are, there comes a point in time where you can be very discriminating about your partner, a boyfriend, a girlfriend, a life partner, dating relationship. And so you need to know beforehand clearly what type of qualities you would want in a partner. And so if you are mature, you're seeking a certain person, I don't really see the benefit and the reason for living together. Some people might argue with me that. I think you either know or you don't know. You've known someone for quite a while. I think you will know or not know to make a good decision, to make a lifelong commitment. You don't have to try it out, the so-called trial run. And I wanted to mention the work of Dr. Scott Stanley of the University of Denver. He has a lot of good lectures out there. You can look him up on YouTube, Dr. Scott Stanley. He calls it slide and decide. And in other words, when people are living in a cohabitation arrangement, they will usually enter it with a go with the flow attitude. Well, let's see what happens. We don't know where this is going to take us. And then after a certain amount of time, they might slide into marriage. That the decision making is different when you decide to live together and spend time in that type of relationship. It's not as committed as marriage. People will say, oh yes, it's as committed as marriage. It's not. Living together and marriage are two different things. They really are. In some marriages, people take on a covenant, a solemn promise, till death do us part. You don't really have that in a living together situation. In fact, if I were in a living situation, I don't know that I could be certain about things in life. So I personally wouldn't like a long-term living situation. What else? So Dr. Scott Stanley talks about the intentionality of a decision when you decide to get married. You have been reasonable and you've thought it through. So what's wrong with living together? I'm just going to conclude with saying that it's up to you, and I hope that you will consider a lot of these questions. It's just a choice, to each his own type of decision. I'm not in favor of it. That's my opinion. Until next time, make your marriage great.